3 to your life. Thank you for the follow. You guys ready to begin? Hold, please. I had a water bottle. It is missing. Hashtag blame the A1 Mini for not being able to unload a filament or something. All right, let's begin. Hello and welcome to another episode of Hedgehog Makes. My name is Austin, aka Zombie Hedgehog, and today we're going to be at least starting the Roadrunner, which is a high-resolution filament sensor with some pretty cool things. So we'll talk about that. We'll go over the BOM, all the parts I've acquired that were actually sent to me by the developer about a month ago or so. And I haven't been building it because I was preparing for Rocky Mountain, but that's over. I want to get this out of the way so I can actually use it in production. I can't wait for that. Also, I'll be taking a brief look at the ERCF V2 kit from Cyborg. I did win this, but it was something I was planning already. So we got to figure out what printer to put it on and maybe like the status of my different clipperized printers. So that being said, as always, this is a 3D printing and making hangout. Feel free to chat and chat, ask any questions, but most importantly, just have a good time. So, let's see what we have in chat here today. Oh boy, Siribot, Stream Elements, Technoside, Pupdog, Hellspark, Numeric, 3D Your Life, Glendon, Hobbymane, Shardolos, 3D Fanatic, it's a new one. Daddy Wazzy, Joe Lambic, Tracy B, thank you for subscribing with Prime. I appreciate it. Madcat USA in the house. Nick, Kenrog, Joe Lambic, Micro Center's getting A1 heat bed soon. I heard about that. That's good. It's been a good week since you received your first and second printer in the last 2 days. It's been a good week. Oh, good week. Awesome. First and second printer. What'd you get? Spot Beam. Hey, Nathan. I got a thing. Show you that. Technoside. Why not because? Hellspark says to put the ERCF on a cell changer. If there is code written, that is a possibility. I'm not writing anything for that. But if it exists, it's possible. I'd like to see that. Although it's already hard enough having 6 colors to manage up top here, I couldn't imagine more than that. I'm being completely honest, like that's a lot. That's a lot of filament. Have Buddy bought his A1 from Micro Center. And Bamboo said the new cable has to go through Micro Center. Interesting. That's very interesting. You won an Ender 3v2 and bought a Tronxy Genesis S IDEX? I've never heard of that one. How's it going, Hobby Main? What the heck is that printer? Ooh, Canarog ordered a kit. What did you order? And K2 Kevin, thank you for the sub. It's not showing up in chat. That's weird. But 7 months. No, 20 total. Thank you, 20. It's an IDEX. Okay, so it's a 300 IDEX bed slinger. IDEX is really cool. If you can get that thing working well, IDEX is really cool. You can print things for Toys for Tots. Some of the models this year include the new, or not the new, those multicolor turtles. I thought I had one around here. Oh dear. I tore this place apart looking for some parts, of course, as always. But those dual color turtles, those are part of Toys for Tots this year. Geeky Jack, welcome on in. Thank you for the raid. We have a hype train. Oh my god, thank you. Older one bought for 3-print SOS. Oh, awesome. You started your Ender NG project. That's great. Love to see that. Pup Dog, thank you for the 300 bits. Proud new owner. Nice. Oh, enjoyed watching my stream from Rocky Mountain. Awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I watched back the stream a bit, and yeah, it's it needs some work, but I was at least able to stream there, and hopefully you guys were able to watch some content. I wish it could be better, wish the audio could be a little better, stuff like that, but as long as you enjoyed it. But I'm doing well. We're gonna kind of jump right into things. And Wi-Fi is part of it, but the actual setup. That was my first time ever using like the dual mics with the setup in a loud environment. I was trying out the Wi-Fi or the noise canceling. I think that was unneeded. Glendon, thank you for the 100 bits. So I'll do more testing beforehand next time I go to an event. So it was great, made it more authentic. That's good. That's good. I'm glad you liked it. I'm not going to focus on quality then. As long as you can see like most of what I was showing you on video, that was more important. And I actually handed a mic to someone so you can hopefully hear what they were saying versus just kind of repeating what they were saying. That's a lot more awkward. That's what it seems like most people do when they go stream at one of these events. They just ignore chat because it's on their screen and they can't really see it, and they ignore the audio from the person that they're trying to talk to. So hopefully we can have better coverage coming up on other events, but I do plan on doing more recording at events. I did a little bit, but I didn't do any proper interviews there. I was thinking about it, but I just didn't have the time. Murph will be different. Murph, I plan on bringing a few things to my table, having a nice little display, but I want to go around and interview people with a tripod and a camera and microphones and that whole thing. I feel like that'll be much more beneficial content. Like, streaming is fun. Streaming is really fun, but it's streaming and not everyone's going to want to watch that after the fact. So I'm guessing that higher quality content will have a much longer lasting effect. Well, the box started selling it. Nice. Hezlis, thank you for the 10 bits. You didn't see the fake Sam Prentice? He was around. I don't think he had his own booth, so he was just walking around and talking. I think I got his sticker. Maybe I did. So a few things before we go too much further. I want to show you this. I built this yesterday. I wanted to make sure they didn't lose any of these pieces. So this is Nathan NH2's Pro Extruder 2. So this is a tiny little extruder based off of the Sherpa Mini mount and has the new large gear extruders. So these are not the same large gears. Liz, thank you for the 101 bits. and the 10 bits. Looks like we hit a level 99 hype train. 99% hype train, thank you. So it's pretty cool. You can see that the actual filament path is twisted a little bit, which is fun. So I think this is gonna be a really good extruder. It's gonna get it hooked up to something. I'm not sure what yet. And of course, this is printed in my Midnight Meteorite ASA from West 3D, and it looks just gorgeous. I love that color. Look at the bridging. Look at that bridging on the bamboo. Like, ABS just like prints like butter. This filament and the bamboo, I don't know, man. Like this, it prints way too good. So yes, this is the Moon's 10, it's a 10-tooth motor. It is very light, yeah, it's light. About the same, I mean, all of these little printed extruders, I feel like they're all around the same weight, right? Like they're all very similar. But this is a BMG based one, and it is quite a bit bigger in all directions. So I like this. Hey, no links in chat. You're not allowed to link it. Yeah, go check it out. It's pretty cool. It does require a specific set of gears, so keep that in mind. And I think the link in your printables is dead. Like they don't have them in stock. So I had to Google it or search it and then buy one of the kits. I think I ordered another one too. It's thinner than any BMG gear extruder. Is it? Is it now? Yeah, a little bit. Oh yeah, quite a bit. Wow. Interesting. Why is that? Oh, it's because of the large gear. It's so thin. Yeah, I see. Because it's all one piece. And I feel like that's going to add up to the increased quality too. Like, I really like this. Does it work with an 8-tooth? Yes. Yes, it'll work with 8 and 10. Usually 8 is recommended from what I'm remembering because you get more torque. But it all depends on what extrusion speed you're going for. Because at faster speeds, usually run out of torque. That's kind of the limiting factor. So you want your motor to spin as fast as it possibly can at the maximum extrusion. So when I'm going to hook it up to this right here, the tube, I'm going to need every single ounce of pushing force possible. So I might just I might try the 8-tooth, one of the 8-tooth motors. I'm not sure yet, but turns out that this is big. This is huge. And I don't know what I'm gonna hook it up to. You prefer 10-tooth? Really? Is there a reason why? I do plan on using this or a similar extruder and actually test it with the different motors. So using a standardized test bench to test the motors, their pushing force. And that's a great segment into this right here, which will tell me maximum extrusion rates. So I can swap out motors and then run tests. So we'll get into that in a little bit. So yeah, this thing is absolutely insane. It takes a 100-watt heater, PT1000, and I don't know how to use it. Kenrog, you know what? I challenge you. Can you make me a anything for this? I want to mount this to a Rook 2020. The gear profile goes weird, that little tooth profile. I bet it does. Yeah, I was always wondering about that. So Kenrog, can you make me a thing? And to put this in perspective, let me grab a Rapido. Oh, and there goes all my drivers. Every day I drop all my drivers. So here's a Rapido. Yeah. So this is I think it's Rapido, like ultra high flow UHF size. But look at this. Look how much bigger it is. I thought this was a big hot end, but this is like massive. Look at that. It's significantly wider. It does not fit in a dragon burner. It's way too large. Way thicker. That's the issue. It's thicker. Length isn't an issue. I can always make the length work, but it's the thickness. Where did my dragon burners go? So this is theoretically what it would fit in. Let's see. We're going to live test this. 8-tooth, more torque, but 10-tooth better meshing. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is like... Okay, technically it might fit. I forget how this works. I don't remember if I have a... Yeah, this actually might fit. I thought it was too narrow, so yes. With a proper mount, I think this will work. So it'll mount kind of like this. Let me screw on a nozzle. Should have a random V6 nozzle around here. Sure, Diamondback, why not? What's the max temp of a Diamondback? I don't think it's that high, right? Need CPAP? I have CPAP. Can you hook me up with a CPAP tool head? That'll fit this? Chirpy. I know, like Chirpy, hey. All right, so kind of like that. And then this would mount like this right here. So this would actually work because the fan would actually blow through. I forget. I think this is the Goliath. The Goliath front trunk burner. So yeah, that's your challenge. I don't know if this outside metal gets hot, but I believe it does because it's hooked up right to this heater. So all of this is gonna be hot. I might have to print this in like a nylon or something just to prevent it from heating. How's it going, John the painter? So yeah, challenge to you guys. Make it work and I'll put it on a Rook. I am ordering probably tomorrow my custom DLL PDF frame for my Rook 2020 Mark II rebuild. I'm going with some type of blue. It'll look nice. Haven't picked out a color. Maybe I'll do like a teal accent, like a dark and light blue. I think I just did that for something that looked good. But that should be good. All right, that's not a rush. Not a rush at all. But I just want to be able to use it, and why not put on a Rook? So I want to use a Sherpa extruder, direct drive with that. With CPAP. That's the idea. We're gonna push some filament. Oh man, I might have to build a more sturdier printer, not just the cantilever design. Actually with the 2020, I could probably do, I think there's a Kirigami mod for it. So I can throw in a Kirigami bed. Maybe that would help out with stability. We'll see. I got lots of random stuff, so we can put something cool together. Liquid cool it. So fun fact, Tube has 0 liquid cooling options. 0. Either air cooled or convection cooled. Convection, and it has a back plate that I think is just naturally it cools off by itself, I guess. It's kind of weird how it works. I don't know if it needs additional cooling at all. I don't know. Yeah, 5M Pro. You can kind of see it, can't you? Not really. But I am printing off these. These are this year's Toys for Tots model. Fix 'em Dudes. Focus? Fix 'em Dudes pickup truck. Really? Focus? Oh, I guess it can't focus that much. So these are really cool. This is the only model this year out of all of them that I printed Polyterra. And I had to significantly increase my walls as well. What am I running on this? I can tell you. I broke a lot of them in testing. Like, I actually tested them. So it's actually only 4 walls, 5 top and 5 bottom. But I had to slow it down a lot because I was breaking them. And I saw that it wasn't actually, the inside walls weren't connected well. Like, you can see gaps. New name. Oh, Hybrid Robotics. How's it going? See you in there. Gulspur, thank you for subscribing. 17 months, that's a long time. Thank you. Started printing TFT tonight. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of them, actually. Whole slew that I'm starting. So I'm starting with the trucks. I am probably going to print the majority of these and use up most of my Polyterra. I don't use a lot of Polyterra, and I never felt comfortable printing toys with them. But with the right amount of infill and the right settings, kind of slowing down the inside and outside walls, these are strong enough. Now, do not print... Actually, I'm going to say it. If you're getting filament for this, don't get Polyterra. Just get regular PLA. Regular Polymaker PLA or any PLA. Just regular PLA. Your next step is to actually test them. Take one of these and really, really crank on it. Don't just like lightly go like that. Oh yeah, it's good. No, you got to really crank on it. With the dump trucks, I was able to just snap off the back in like 2 seconds in Polyterra with my settings, with my everything. So either beef up your profile or I don't know, just make sure that it prints well. Yeah, PLA Pro is definitely the best choice for all of these toys. Polymaker's PLA Pro, like 100%. Just, I'll go for that. It's a good point, Stephen Poole. We got a bunch of makers in the Thangs leaderboard. So if you want to click that link, if you see any of your fellow makers in that chat, go ahead and vote for them. I do have a makeup over there as well. I have the owl. If you want to go like that, that would be appreciated. Check out everyone else's makes too. Thangs is really inspiring for just people posting makes. In fact, I actually got to talk with Thangs quite a bit last weekend, and absolutely amazing, amazing people, amazing company, and I am super, super proud to be not really working with them, but just working alongside of them. This whole system was born via Thangs. So the owl is pretty clean. I printed that a long time ago too, back before IK3D was on Thangs, and I actually brought him over. I invited him. It's like, hey, you should come over here. What's your experience with Polysonic? I haven't tried it a lot. I really haven't. It seems like it has a more consistent finish at higher speeds. That's kind of my experience with it. I just really don't use it. I print regular PLA. It's fast enough for me, and it looks good enough for me, and my tune print settings work fine. Yeah, Polysonic Black. Oh yeah, hopefully you can fix that. Hopefully it's nothing serious. LDO filament? No, I have never tried LDO's filament. I'm guessing it's just white labeled, but I don't know. Polysonic on the flash forge. Yeah, you can increase the flow like significantly Probably like 30, 40 millimeters cubed. It's kind of crazy. But keep it conservative and you'll have the best results. Yeah, Glennon got the LDO filament. I got this stuff right here. We're gonna print this on the Rook, just an FYI. We are going to print this on the Rook. We're gonna find limits of everything. Regular Polymaker PLA? No, just PLA, Polylite PLA, Polylite PLA Pro. Either of those two are regular PLAs. Yeah, filament's more than the Rook. This is just a 100-gram sample. I actually was there. I was at the booth over at Polar, and he was just saying that Zach dropped off like minutes ago. Minutes. Speaking of minutes, I want to start this project, but let's quickly talk about this right here. So this is ERCF. This is the 8-channel kit, probably better with the overhead. I've moved it so it's a little bit better. All right. This is the Cybor ERCF V2 8-channel kit. So this comes with everything you need, besides printed parts, as far as I can tell, to build an ERCF. Even includes this, which I've already used and tried out. The MMB. I had to use this on my micron changer because I needed all the ports. Yeah, this camera mount is not stable at all. It'll be replaced when I swap studios, don't worry. Proper needle. That's good. That'll help out. So it has one of these, and that hooks up via this big long cable. So I'm gonna hook this up to wherever, and then you can run this down into your printer, into your CAN port, and then power. So theoretically, if you had something like an MAP, you could plug. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Plug it directly into there using CAN bridge. That's cool. It also does work over USB. The kit also includes stuff like this end stop PCB. So this is for each of the one of the end stops. I'm not sure which. I guess that's just the pre-feeder one. Easy drivers, LEDs, wiring, really nice overkill CNC'd aluminum part for the gear reduction. Servo, a little mini servo. I think it's about the same as the last kit. USB cable for flashing. We have rods. And what is that? Oh, interesting. Oh, a flat shaft. What is that for? Why would there be a long flat shaft? Oh, that's for driving all of the... Okay, all the steppers. Right. Or not steppers, the extruders. And then the ERCF V2 now has an extrusion. So that's kind of cool. That helps with the stability of the whole thing versus V1. We have some Cybor motors, just little ones, probably both pancakes. Yeah, both pancakes. One of them is for the extruder, and then one of them is for selecting. And then PTFE, very little PTFE. Another end stop, not sure what that one's for. And then parts kit. Let's take a quick look inside of that. Wow, look at that. I'm pretty sure. Oh wow, these are some nice bearings. NSK bearings? What? Why do I need that? Japan special bearings. Wow. That's cool. So there are 6 of them? 8 of them? I wonder if it's enough for the carrot patch. This thing. No, not carrot patch. That's a cottontail. I think it's a cottontail. Is that what they're calling it now? End stop is... Oh, end stop for the selector. Thank you. Hey, Pete. How's it going? And yeah, all kinds of goodies. Inlets, outlets, bearings, magnets, crimps, ball bearings, all the things. And they're even labeled. That's really cool. Very cool. So that will be coming eventually. I don't know when. I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing for Murph. My original plan was to bring the tool changer, and I'm still debating bringing it. I'd love to bring it. It's a lot of work to bring when I can bring something like, you know, V0. I might prefer just to bring the V0 and maybe this filament sensor or something like that, but a lot of people really like the tool changer. So if I can spend enough time on that, getting that all revised and updated, maybe I'll bring it. Change the lighting. Lighting should be the same. Hey, Turl, how's it going? Yeah, I didn't have a lot of content over there, but actually, I streamed for 5 hours or so. Dueling V0. Ooh, that'd be fun. Probably not, though. They get ERCF team's approval. I don't know. It's an open source project, though. It's kind of weird, right? Same thing with Boron. Maybe. I can't tell you. I know Cyborg does tend to work with the community. Yeah, they seem to have ins with the community. All right. So yeah, that's soon. I'll figure out what printer I'm putting it on. I don't have plans at the moment, and I want to have plans. I want to be able to hook it up to something. Theoretically, I should be using it with the new Philometrics cutting head or do tip forming, but after experiencing the bamboo and approximately like maybe 1 or 2 fails on swapping, like very, very, very minimal, very high success rate swapping, I really like filament cutters on the tool head, with a major downside of it wastes a lot more filament. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a way to retract it, kind of like what the bamboo is doing. So retract it to almost all the way, cut it so you have like a little bit of filament left, and then just push it through without the tip getting stuck. So do the mod. Yeah, I'm considering it. I just don't like Stealth Burner that much. But it'll work. It'll work. Evening, Woko. I had a lot of issues with the ERCF tip forming. It was hard to tune. I could never get it right. I don't know if I was just being dumb, but I couldn't get a good tip forming. I said it right? Good, yay, 1 out of 1. Good. So, yeah. Another issue with this thing is, where the heck am I going to store the filament? It's a lot. Remember, that's 6 spools. You need 8 spools somewhere. It adds up real quick. Software has improved a lot. I used it, I would say recently, but hopefully it's been improved more since I've used it. So yeah, that's coming soon. The current clipperized printers that I would consider putting it on, 2.4. This is currently rocking a broken wire. I think I just have stopped using it because I haven't gotten the time to troubleshoot it. So that needs to be converted over to CAN bus, and I'm waiting to do the, what is it, Chaotic Slab. It's their lightweight gantry for 2.4. I'm waiting to get that from Big Tree Tech and swap it out to Dragon Burner, umbilical, etc. And then maybe convert to Cell Changer. The Trident, I haven't been happy with both the Z offset consistencies, even though I switched to tap, and I haven't liked the overall print quality on it. So I'm gonna have to do a complete rebuild of the gantry, and I printed off a lot on it, or at least it seemed like a lot. And I definitely need to revise that. A lot of parts have faded too because of all the ABS fumes, and I just need to like refresh that printer. Maybe even mod it, do some stuff. But those are the main two that I would consider using it on. I have some others, of course, over there in the back. And for a multi-color printer, all you need is a good motion system. So my original ERCF printer was a BQBX, and that worked great. I was actually able to print off some things, but the filament management was the biggest issue. I didn't have any buffers, so it just was a nightmare. When is Black Box happening? Black Box, I am still in talks of getting the frame customized. So I need a custom frame, which shouldn't be too bad, from KV3D, and then possibly a custom backplate, because the tools rest against a cooled backplate, and we're afraid that with 8 tools, the water temp as it goes all the way to the end is going to be too hot. So that's kind of a concern. So we have to do a custom backplate for that. Everything else though should be pretty standard. Maybe the bed, it might increase size. I'm not 100% sure yet. I do want to add a spot for a permanently mounted Ember Prototypes camera. And I'm trying to think, the enclosure might have to be a little bit different, but I'm aiming for about 8 tools, maybe 9. It all depends on like what sizes make sense, right? So the rail, we can get it any size we want, but at what point is too much, like too wide? Thank you, Pup Dog. Have a good night. Yeah, I don't know yet. We'll have to worry about it after a little bit. I want to take some time to do some of the projects, my backlog. Essentially everything leading up till Murph is just my backlog of parts and projects. So, speaking of, let's go ahead and jump right into the Roadrunner. So this right here, I was sent the parts to build this. Hopefully I have all the parts. It's been a little while. I had them all organized. So that's what this is right here. Oh, do I see a Gulfspur in chat? Do I? Oh yeah, hey you are. How's it going? And Canorog. Gulfspur and Canorog. Wow. Canorog's gonna make me a custom tool head, CPAP tool head for the tube with a direct drive. Yeah, it has to be direct drive too. Berwick 2020. Oh boy. So, Roadrunner. What is Roadrunner? It is a high-resolution filament motion sensor. So it has sub-millimeter motion detection, which is a lot more than the standard like Big Tree Tech Smart Sensor, which it works differently. Essentially, the Smart Sensor is like the one I had on the Micron Changer. It just sends like a yes or no signal. This actually collects all the data and is able to communicate via Clipper. So this has a full-on RP2040 or something like that. So that is really cool. Low cost, Now they're estimating $12 a part, which honestly, I mean, it's probably close to that. You can probably cost it down quite a bit. But I would say probably a little more, just guessing. It can detect direction. So it actually knows which direction it's spinning. It has a... I don't know how this works, but I think it... I don't know. I really don't know how it works. Does it have a magnet? I'll have to dig a little bit deeper into it. But it detects the rotation of the extruder. Detect changes of 0.7 degree. That's kind of insane. Absolutely insane. Neopixel status indicator. Small and light. Helps determine run out reason. So you can tell like why you've run something out, if it's clogged, if you're out of filament, if it's skipping. I think it should be able to tell that out. If not, 2-wire communication over UR or I squared C, and calibrates max flow. That will be amazing. That's what I'm really interested in. Calibrates max flow. So I should be able to hook this up to some type of overkill, you know, hot end like the tube, or, you know, Rapido, or any like high flow hot end in their high flow configuration. And I should be able to just put on a bunch of extruders and test them against each other. Like, which extruder pairs best with a Rapido? Maybe you don't need anything better than the Pro extruder. Or maybe you do. Maybe you need a lot more pushing force to get the most out of it. Magnet on the shaft rotates. Detects a change. So where's the magnet? That's what I was wondering. Where's the actual magnet go? We'll figure that out. So yeah, it's really cool. There is an actual Roadrunner filament sensor. There's a whole, what do you call this, service. Configuration, quite a bit of configuration. You can use it to calibrate the, oh, that's right. Find rotation distance value. I don't know how that works. Find rotation distance value. Is that calibrating it against your extruder, maybe? Find max flow. Measure G1 command. Yeah, it does some interesting things, and then it makes a plot like that. Yeah, what do you guys think? It's pretty cool. I have not seen a filament sensor like this, to be honest. And what's really crazy is if it's this cheap, you should be able to get one of these on every commercial printer. Like, this whole thing should be its own little package that you can just put onto a printer. That's kind of cool. So why don't we begin? First, we'll look at the BOM, which is right here. So there are links. You need an AS5600 sensor, which is a magnetic encoder breakout board used for rotation detection. Mark III S IR sensor for filament presence detection. Either it's there or it's not there. A Waveshare RP2040, a little mini Pi, essentially. Wires, which we have. JSTHX male 4-pin. So we'll definitely need to grab one of those. The linked breakout board comes with a 3mm diameter magnet. If you purchase the magnet separately, make sure it is poles oriented across its diameter, not the thickness. I think... Is that 3mm? I guess so. Yeah, it has a little magnet. in this package. We have a magnet already for that. Iris sensors not require any of the usual hardware for Mark 3S. Only 2mm self-tapping screws are needed. Okay, I'll have to... Doesn't come with them. I'll have to grab some of mine, which I should have somewhere, or I have a kit behind me. Yeah, this has like insane resolution. It can detect max flow, so that's pretty high. And the thing with this, I don't know what the refresh rate is, but it should be able to like instantaneously tell you if you're under extruding or not. So we'll see how it works in practice, but the hardware itself seems really good, and the software would just have to be changed or improved over time. Okay, I also did have to cut down a rod. So I just did this earlier. I cut out a little rod right here with the Dremel, but you can probably just buy one of those too. So the developer of this project sent me the whole BOM. They had some spares and they just sent me pretty much everything to build it. So no kit as of now, but I am testing this, and if it works out good, then I will try to make it a kit. I would love to have this as like a West 3D kit or something like that. That'd be awesome. But I can't recommend something that I haven't tried, right? I can partially recommend it. I need more heat sets than just 2. How many heat sets are there total? I like to tell how many of each of something there are. Oh, 10. So I know I'm using them all. Okay, so we need 10 of those. I think these are the right size. I should have 10. Yeah. I don't know if they sent any over. It's been, like I said, it's been a little while since I got the kit in. But I've just been really busy with the Micron changer. So before I start any other builds or something, I want to do all kinds of these small projects. I might even want to build the magnetic IDEX printer. You guys remember that? I still have all the parts for it. I'd love to get that built. This is not attached to the tool head. No, it's a filament sensor. In fact, you could it's probably better to mount it away from the filament or from the tool head. The only issue is route detection. If it's mounted way far away, then whatever is left is unusable in terms of filament. But you can probably even design this into a tool head, like right on top, and have it look really nice. But as of now, I'm probably going to mount this away from the tool head. Just fix the frame. I don't care if there's like, this much filament left. It doesn't really matter. So we have these. These are smaller than boron standard heat inserts, which is lucky because I bought this kit not realizing that all the sizes are weird. And we need a couple of M3s of various sizes. Okay, so I think we have all of the things we need. BOM. All right, so assembly. So let me see if all the parts are printed. That's the first step. Oh shoot, I need the box printed. All right, let's see. We have all of this printed. I forgot to print a few things, so let me get those going. I got distracted streaming. Figure. I was trying to print this on the A1 Mini today, but I was running into some issues. Still have no idea what those issues were. I do want to start printing. I'm going to be using some Gloop Proto Pasta. So I don't know what it's called, but it's the Gloop Keller from Proto Pasta. So let me load that onto the Mark IV, and that'll be the case. I probably need to use this right here. Let's go to Prusa. Let's do, this is the accent color. Right here, just a little part. Shouldn't take that long to print. Non-boron heat inserts. You can buy a small pack. And if there is a kit eventually, I'm sure that that could be put together. It's a good question. So theoretically, if there's a project like this, and assuming that it has, you know, commercial licensing, etc., would anyone be interested in me selling kits of this stuff? With a couple of disclaimers, I would obviously give a portion back to the original designer. And I don't know how I'd specifically do it, but would anyone be interested in that? If I was to start developing these little kits, stuff that someone like West 3D might be a little bit too much for them, right? To have to source all that stuff, put together a kit, like it probably wouldn't be worth it. But I'd be interested for a project like this. PLA. Is this my, yeah, it's my profile. Make sure it's actually loaded. That's good enough. It's only a 25-minute print. Good night, Hybrid. Hopefully you can get your printer fixed. Depends on the price. Right. It would be not inexpensive, but it wouldn't be crazy expensive. Right. Kind of like the TD1. You have this right here. Like, this is expensive. The actual parts inside are probably not crazy, but having this as a pre-assembled package or kit would save you money versus self-sourcing it, if you were to consider that. So I'm interested to see how this project takes off. Where's the link? I can send you that. And how's it going, Traxman? I mean, if this works out, then this would be perfect for the tool changer. This would be amazing for the tool changer because it has theoretically higher resolution filament clogging detection, which is really useful for a tool changer. And it can tell if the filament is retracted well, all that stuff. Yeah, I'm not planning on doing that, but I at least want to try to get kits out to people. And maybe, I think this came from Canada, like the designers in Canada, I believe. But I know some people would be interested. So maybe even just a small batch to just to try everything might be interesting. Because you have to buy stuff in bulk to get the best prices. It is what it is. But let's forget about that for now and actually focus on the build. Excuse me. Are you okay? Can you not focus on this big blue empty bit here? I guess not. Fabricated, welcome in. Techno side, welcome in. So let's see. The first thing to do is heat sets. Okay, so unfortunately I only have one soldering iron, so I need to steal my stealth press. Grab the cable for that. I think they had a low resolution. I think they had to lower resolution of blinking encoder because there's a bottleneck in the system and couldn't keep up with the fast motion. Interesting. Well, that's because with ERCF, they're feeding the filament really fast, right? Like they're feeding it ridiculously fast down to the tool head, and that's what it's needing to detect. But with this, then I'm sure that would be better. Or I think you're just printing. So the filament's probably moving like this at most. Like that's fast for filament. That, we'll see. I don't know. Fuchsia is going. Great. And there's one more little part that I guess I'm gonna print on the P1S. Get that out of the way. Assuming that this filament doesn't break. That's a clear piece that I should probably print for the cover. So I'm gonna do this in Hele Galaxy Black for the main chassis. I got Protopasta Gloop Purple, whatever color it is, Gloop Purple for the accent, and then it takes one little LED diffuser that I have to print as well. I think that's over here. Yeah, right here. It's like one little thing. I'm gonna print like 2 of them. If you're ever printing one tiny thing in your bed, print like, I don't know, 4, just like a handful, just in case. Oh. It is not liking something. What didn't you like? It's a plastic spool. Yes, I got the P1S and the X1 down the floor here. It's actually perfect because you can just load filament and see everything right there. Naomi A4 and print. You skimmed through the GitHub repo and couldn't find the license. It says open source, nothing specific. That's I'm not planning on doing anything without talking to the designer. But I would like to see more people. Oh, weird. This is weird. It's like not rolling. Very strange. I'll have to babysit that spool. I don't have too much clear filament. Oh, all right. So let's start with the heat inserts. So we have a couple of parts here. This one right here. So we need 4 heat sets here. These are little ones compared to the bigger Voron ones. The Voron heat sets are actually really big compared to what they need to be. Sometimes I like to just press the part into the press and then press it back up against the table to make sure it's flush. Let's get all the heat sets in. By the time I procrastinate, oh, I forgot supports for that piece. Looks like it's still printed fine-ish. I did forget supports. Should have even printed it in that orientation? I guess so. It did say to use supports. I just kind of skimmed and didn't see anything that desperately needed it. But I did not skim enough. So we'll have to see how well it fits together. I don't think that'll affect anything too major. No, it looks exactly like the part. We'll continue. Worst case is we reprint it. I should have enough heat inserts, and I can do the removable trick if I need to. So we're gonna get all these heat sets in. This one takes 5. So something that I'm planning on doing in the future, I've been talking about this a lot recently, but I'll be doing more testing. So I've been kind of chatting with a few people, and I think I've come to the conclusion on what this channel is going to focus on. And I think a lot of it is going to focus on like engineering analysis, right? I still want to do custom projects. I want to do, more basic things, but at the same time, I really want to get into real kind of engineering based off of 3D printing. So what does that mean? Well, studying different hot ends, extruders with standardized testing methodology, doing that on streams, making videos on them, having databases of all this stuff, being able to analytically measure a printer to say how good it is. That's kind of, in my opinion, something that's missing. You can do a tier list all day long, but unless you give a printer a specific value, then it's kind of useless. And not just this seems kind of like a 7 or kind of like a 3. No, I'm talking about actual, like, measurable data for printers. And that would help weed out some of the less desirable printers. And then kind of highlight some of the pros and kind of some of the cons. I will not be doing any dedicated printer reviews. I'm pretty sure of that. Printer reviews are just not, in my opinion, not really worth the time. They're just not. And I applaud everyone who makes a printer review, but that's just a lot for, for what I can do. It's unfortunate because I think there needs to be more printer reviews. And like we were talking about on a previous stream, like, what is a review? There's still a lot of people that will give a, print on it for a handful of hours and then call it a review and kind of gloss over everything, saying it's a great printer. But then, there's a lot more to it than just printing a few things. Or maybe there isn't. I don't know. But I'm not going to try to compete in that segment. And I can kind of see everyone trying to get out of it as less inviting. So that's kind of the plan. Of course, go to RepRap festivals, get coverage of that. I didn't do a lot of recorded content, like I was saying, at Rocky Mountain, but I think that's fine. I'm going to really try to focus on more stuff for Murph, and then 3D Printopia. Wow, I'm sponsoring that. I'll have a table, so I got to be there chatting. That's kind of the idea. Cheers, Gulsifer. Take it easy. In your head, you see multiple options for reviews. There's first impressions, extended use. Right. So a review is like the content, but yeah, I don't know. Handheld microphone for interviews. Honestly, I think the little portable labs work fine. It's less invasive than holding up a microphone. With the ease of use. Well, that's, yeah. Like usability, I would put that under like extended use. But that's kind of when I'm expecting, or when I'm watching a review, I'm expecting a first impression video where you have some amount of hours on it, right? Essentially like an unboxing video where you don't even use it. Maybe use it for like 5 minutes. Unboxing, first impressions, and then a long-term review. That's kind of like the 3-step process, right? You unbox it. Maybe that can be part of the initial impressions video. But then long-term review is key. And that's the hardest one to make. And that's the most important. Like, how does this thing fare up after how many hours? How do I get to that? General, device, language, firmware, device info. 2,900 hours. So I'm gonna hit 3,000 hours on this pretty soon. And it's still able to produce beautiful parts, like absolutely beautiful parts, with very, very, very beautiful surface finishes, etc. Like, I'm super impressed with this thing.